video today just because it's Resurrection Sunday, and I want to talk a little bit about 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Of course, I don't have it in front of me, and if you haven't read it, and even if you have read it and you haven't read it today, I really encourage you to read it today. And also the resurrection accounts from the Gospels. But in 1 Corinthians 15, it's the second to last chapter, and Paul is addressing some people who say there is no resurrection of the dead. And he says that if there's no resurrection of the dead, that means Christ didn't rise. And if Christ didn't rise, our faith is in vain. And of all people, we are to be pitied the most. Our faith is useless if Christ didn't rise. We have no hope, because our hope is in Him, that He will give us eternal life. His resurrection was the proof that He was telling the truth. He said before that He would rise, and He rose. His resurrection shows that He defeated death. He was the first fruits of the resurrection. We will also be changed and given glorified bodies like that one day when He comes back. We will take off this corruptible flesh and put on incorruptible flesh. But if the dead do not rise, all this is for no reason. He says, I fought with beasts at Ephesus. He fought animals in Colosseums. He was persecuted unto death for this faith. But if Christ did not rise, then it's all in vain. And he proceeds to say that He did rise, that He appeared after His resurrection with many evidences, revealing Himself to Cephas or Peter, and then showing Himself to the 12 apostles, then showing Himself to over 500 at one time. And when Paul says that, he proceeds to say, many of which are still alive today. So when he was writing this, many of the 500 who saw Him, all in a group setting, are still alive. You can talk to them. They are eyewitnesses. There are real accounts. This is not blind faith. This is not based on nothing. Christ really rose, and if He did not rise, then our faith is in vain, and everything we believe is a lie. But He did indeed rise. And maybe another day I could get more into the historicity of that, and what the consensus of scholars believe about Jesus' life, His death by Pontius Pilate, which the consensus of scholars agree happened. And then theories about the resurrection from atheist and agnostic scholars who believe that, and also believe that but they don't believe in miracles, so they don't believe He rose, but they believe that His disciples believe that they rose, that they saw Him in group settings over a multiple day period. They saw, touched, tasted these things. And I'll talk about some theories they have, and I'll object to those theories. And but one more thing, that was the reason the disciples gave their lives, for not denying the resurrection. And people die for lies all the time. People die for lies and ideas that they believe to be true. But psychologically, people will not die for a lie that they know to be a lie. This wasn't something that they heard. This wasn't something that they made up. This wasn't something that happened years ago. This wasn't something that happened in some faraway place. Jesus rose. Immediately, they started preaching to the same people in the same place who were there for all those events. And in prior, we hear stories of them being cowards. But then, they give their life for this belief. Not only in actual death, but also they give up comfort. They spend time in prison for not denying this belief. They have family members taken away from them. Jesus says, whoever loves their life will lose it, but whoever gives their life for my sake will keep it and gain eternal life. We do not run in vain. Our faith is not based on blind faith. It is based on evidence. And Be confident in this. Christ rose according to the scriptures. He who was dead is now alive forevermore. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, and he is coming back. He is coming back for his church, his bride, a spotless bride. And he will come like a thief in the night. So be prepared. Happy Resurrection Day. Happy Easter. All praise to the Lord.